Hello, hello, brothers and sisters. It's a new week. We are happy to welcome you to our show titled Speak of Africa. There's so much news breaking out in Africa this week. As usual, we try to make sense out of this news. We try to take a look at the global situation. What is happening? Much of the dominant themes in the news this week have been Trump 2.0, the second coming of Donald Trump, tariffs, trade wars. That's the message. Then, of course, there is the fallout from the suspension of aid to many African countries, humanitarian aid by USAID. USAID is a federal agency that was founded by President John F. Kennedy. I know most people remember the Peace Corps as one of his brainchildren, but USAID is one of the ones that has endured. Even after the collapse of the Soviet Union, USAID endured. But Trump has come in now with his apartheid paper mafia. And I call it apartheid paper mafia because you guys know Elon Musk, right? Where is he from? South Africa. Then you know that he was part of the founders of PayPal, right? All those guys came from South Africa. And when you look into the background of all these guys who founded PayPal, they are the children of the former Afrikaners. When you look at their background, those are the people who enslaved Africans, killed them. Elon Musk is part of that. So that group has come up with this mafia. So they are trying to bury democracy by using Donald Trump. USAID was a way to help African countries and other countries after the war. It was a humanitarian effort. Many countries are benefiting from this, and even the United States benefits from it. This is not just aid that America just gives and doesn't get anything in return. I understand Donald Trump is a transactional president, but America benefits a lot from USAID. So this is aid that comes with strings. We always tell people, America is a capitalist society. You cannot get anything for free. America will not give you anything for free. When America gives you something, there's always a catch. So in return for the USAID African countries receive, this humanitarian aid comes with some strings attached. Most of the workers of USAID, they come there, sometimes they are information gatherers, they are spies. They do things for the interests of the United States. And that's what Donald Trump and his cronies don't understand. Now there's a new scramble for Africa. America wants to win. America wants to defeat Russia and China. How can America win when America does not win the hearts and minds of Africans? So we think it's a mistake. America is making a mistake by shutting down. I look at it today. The website of USAID was down. The website was down. So there's so much confusion around this whole organization, agency of the US government. Marco Rubio has been struggling to make sense out of some of this fallout, but things are not going well. So it's really bad. So most of these people are responding in kind. Since Donald Trump returned to the White House, he has been making those threats, immigration, but China has decided to stand up to the big bully. Donald Trump made those comments with Trudeau. What did Trudeau do? He was kind of coy. But China has decided not to back down. China has decided to slap America with bigger tariffs. So what is Donald Trump going to do? We understand because of China's response, people in the White House are already shaking in their boots. We have a video we're going to share with you of a lady making fun of the response of Americans to the Chinese slapping those tariffs on America. So many goods that America gets. America forgets that it is a global economy. America cannot function as an island. The economy of America is linked with the economies of other countries, China, Japan. So if you slap my country with tariffs, I respond in kind and slap your own country with tariffs. And that's what China has just done. Watch the video for a minute.
World News: Washington's failed attempt to corner China. Washington has tried to corner China many times, but this time, Beijing didn't hesitate. It struck back hard against the US. As soon as Trump announced new tariffs on Chinese goods, panic erupted in the White House. Beijing responded with lightning speed, imposing 15% tariffs on American liquefied natural gas and coal, the very resources the US had hoped to sell to China to reduce its dependence on Russia. That plan collapsed overnight, leaving the White House in turmoil. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio rushed to complain about China's unfair actions, threatening new sanctions. How ironic. Washington believes it alone has the right to impose restrictions. But when someone retaliates, it's suddenly unfair. But the real drama had only just begun. While the US scrambled to come up with new threats, Beijing struck again. This time with tariffs on American oil and agricultural products. No empty words, no drawn-out negotiations, just swift, decisive countermeasures. Then came Beijing's masterstroke. China introduced export controls on rare earth metals, dealing a serious blow to the American tech industry. The US could no longer rely on cheap components for its technology sector. But China didn't stop there. It placed a major American tech company on its unreliable entities list and launched antitrust investigations against Android and Chrome. In a panic, Trump urgently sought talks with Xi Jinping, but Beijing responded with icy silence. And that might be the worst-case scenario for Washington, because when China doesn't react to US provocations, it means its counterstrike is already prepared. For decades, America has pressured China. But China is no longer the same country it was 20 years ago. The real question now is, can Washington handle a rival of this magnitude, or will China once again prove who the real power player is? What do you think Trump's next move will be?
Thank you. The way China has done it, other countries are threatening to respond. Even India, they are threatening to respond. If America slaps us with tariffs, we're going to respond in kind, we'll slap them with tariffs. Then what about USAID? Well, according to what one of the economists I like, Dambisi Moyo, she wrote, debt aid. We should not get used to debt aid. USAID is helpful, but African countries need to start thinking of living without this aid. They can function and they can do better without it. Self-reliance is the motto, and I keep preaching this motto. Let's go back to self-reliance. Look at what the AES, Alliance des États du Sahel, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, look at what they are doing. It's just like milk. A child is weaning themselves off that milk, the breast milk. They fend for themselves. That's what African countries need to start doing. I know Paul Kagame of Rwanda said, yes, we can do away with that aid. But Paul Kagame, you can do away with that aid because you're stealing from Congo. We'll get to your time soon. Let's talk about Ambazonia. In Ambazonia, we can see that things are not going well. The revolution has failed. Let's be honest. Most of the leaders now in Ambazonia, they are doing a form of post-mortem, members sur l'Ambazonie. Well, they're doing a form of SWOT analysis. That's what I'm telling them to do. Do a form of SWOT analysis. What were the strengths of this revolution? What were the weaknesses of this revolution? What were the opportunities that this revolution presented to us? And what were the threats? If you can do a form of SWOT analysis, the way we do it in the corporate world in America, you're going to find out that you're going to learn a lot. For one, I understand the leadership was the biggest threat to this revolution. The guys were selfish. They were fighting for power every day instead of focusing on the core issue of revolution. Then what about La République? Well, in La République, it is sad. We see stories of mayors. These are the guys who are running cities. They are going without pay for over 3 months. So if the mayor is supposed to get his pay of 250,000 CFA and he cannot get it, then the assistant mayor also is supposed to get his pay of 150,000 CFA and he cannot get it. How do you expect him to survive? How do you expect him to live? You are forcing him to start taking bribes from the people he's supposed to serve, the citizens, and which is what most of the mayors do. Because the government is not paying them, they resort to taking bribes from the people. So that's how they survive. But this is not the only problem facing La République du Cameroon. This week, we saw that the people are looking forward to October 2025. The frail and old Biya has just feted his 92nd birthday. He's saying, I want to stand for re-election. But the people have other ideas. In the north of Cameroon, for example, the people are not happy. We've been telling you that after the death of Ojong, they have been disappointed with the fact that Paul Biya has never allowed Ojong's remains to be transported from Dakar, Senegal, back to Cameroon. And this has been a sticking point in the system. Now that the Biya regime is nearing its end, even if this president is not from the north of Cameroon, he's going to try to rehabilitate Amadou Ojong, because a lot of people love Amadou Ojong in that part of the country. So you can see what these people from Kuseri in the north of Cameroon, what they did to Biya's acting president, Ferdinand Ngongo. There were protests. The people were not afraid of B. Bataillon de Téléphone Rapide. Those soldiers were carrying big guns everywhere, but the people ignored B. They were protesting against the marginalization of their territory by the Paul Biya regime. And these people who were protesting were members of Biya's party, the CPDM Ubien RDPC. So you can watch the videos and you see the way they were really angry, they were marching. I saw a lot of stories covered by even Mimi Mefo on her channel showing pictures of Ferdinand Ngongo facing an angry crowd. If B and those guys were not there, they would have lynched him. But he's just lucky that he had B with him. They would have lynched him. So even a priest is saying that the next president of La République Cameroon should be a God-fearing person. Because Cameroon has become a Sodom and Gomorrah, a country of evil. And God would want this country to be burned the way Sodom and Gomorrah was burned. Burn, burn, burn La République du Cameroon. Next, we take you to the Central African Republic. Here also, there's been chaos. The West and Russia are fighting for influence. Russia has been successful in edging out the French in the Central African Republic, and Russia is enjoying the largesse. Russia has taken over this territory, but the fighting continues. The fighting continues vigorously.
At AUK Tax Service, we understand taxes can be overwhelming. That's why we've been serving taxpayers and tax preparers nationwide since 1986. Why wait for your money? We guarantee fair and accurate tax returns with experienced professionals you can trust. We offer a range of services, including accounting, bookkeeping, and recording, payroll, insurance, and real estate, corporate and individual income tax preparation, tax planning and preparation. Are you a tax preparer or entrepreneur looking to boost your income? Partner with AUK Tax Service for a free, fast, and easy way to grow your business. AUK Tax Service is the ideal partner for check cashing stores, travel agencies, realtors, loan officers, and grocery stores. Facing IRS tax problems? Let AUK Tax Service provide expert assistance to resolve any issues quickly and efficiently. With over 3 decades of experience, AUK Tax Service has been trusted by clients nationwide. We're committed to delivering exceptional service and ensuring bigger refunds. We make tax preparation seamless for businesses like yours. Don't wait, get your fair share with AUK Tax Service. Contact us today and let us handle your taxes with care. Learn more at www.auktax.com. Visit one of our convenient office locations or call us today. Our offices are located in Maryland and Virginia. AUK Tax Service. Bigger refunds. Better service.
What about Congo DRC? Well, the fighting also continues in Congo DRC. This week, we understand Bukavu has been overrun by the M23 rebels. You know, the M23 rebels are supported by Paul Kagame. Even though he uses a lot of airs of deniability not to make people know that he's involved, but even the UN has seen proof that Rwandan soldiers are fighting inside the Congolese territory. So this is wrong. Why should a sovereign nation be attacked because you want to steal their resources? In the world of today, might should not be right. Where is international law? And that's why the Congolese are protesting. We even have a video of Congolese in Europe. They are attacking Europeans because of the complicity of the European Union. You must understand the European Union has signed a diabolic deal with Paul Kagame to be buying blood minerals. Coltan is smuggled by M23 from Congo DRC. This coltan is taken to Rwanda, a country that has no minerals. These minerals are sold to the European Union. Then how can you say blood diamond trade should end when the European Union is supporting this trade? Where is their morality? Where is their humanity? As a result, the Congolese in Belgium have decided to ban and protest against the European Union. Take a look at the video.
On nous agresse, mais ils sont agressifs. Mais dis qu'il reste câble, lui. C'est lui qui l'a. Première sommation. Première sommation. Au bout, regarde. Le long. Mais regarde. Regarde, je vous dis, faut que j'aille. Regarde. Ça veut l'usage de la force. Vas-y, Vincent, attention. Vincent. Mais. Mais dis-le. Nous avons touché. Voilà. Les enfants de Goma. De l'eau.
Thank you for looking at the video of Congolese protesting. But what about the African Union? The African Union was having a summit last week. But the African Union, as we've told you on this show many times, is a useless organization. It's dysfunctional. It doesn't work. It doesn't have the right to exist. When people like Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta, Julius Nyerere decided to form this organization, they had high hopes. They were looking at a way to promote Pan-Africanism. But the African Union, which has shaped more from Organization of African Unity, is a useless organization. They have just named a new leader, and this leader comes from where? Djibouti. Hey, Djibouti is a colonial bastion. Their leader uses his territory to make money from Europeans. You come with money, he sells you rights. You can create a military base there. The Americans have bases there. Now even the Chinese, because the guy is looking for money. Whoever can pay him, the president of Djibouti would allow you to establish a base in his country. So the bases are everywhere. Of course, France has been losing bases everywhere in Africa. Where do you think France has gone to establish new bases? Djibouti, of course. It is in Djibouti that a candidate has been sent to become the next chairperson of the African Union. Oh, hell for Africans. The same African Union that cannot build a building for themselves. The same African Union that relied on China to build a building, then China bought the entire building. This is the same African Union that is choosing somebody who comes from a colonial country, a country where all the colonial masters are establishing their bases. So which means this guy is the new puppet that has been sent to the African Union. Then how do you expect the African Union to be a sovereign Pan-Africanist organization? How can it serve African interests? It cannot. It would only serve the interests of the colonial masters, which is why the nomination of the foreign minister of Djibouti as the new chairperson of the African Union is a disgrace. It's a disgrace to the sons and daughters of Africa. What do you think? Comment on this video. I want to hear what you think, okay? Then, of course, we don't think it's going to do much to help its people or Africa. So we are just disappointed with the news we're getting from the AU. Congo is burning. What are they doing? They cannot stop Kagame's forces from marching. The way we see it, before you know it, Paul Kagame and M23 will be close to Kinshasa. They will capture Kinshasa. And when they capture Kinshasa, what's going to happen? Felix Tshisekedi's government will collapse. Right now, Felix Tshisekedi could not even attend the AU meeting. He was holed up in Kinshasa, struggling to see how he can lead the war effort. So he's a besieged president. Even if he was not elected legally, but he's the person running the country. The people look at him like their leader. We feel sorry for the Congolese people, but we feel sorry also because their army cannot protect them. The Congolese army is an army that has lost its soul. People ask me, Prince Ojong, how come a large country such as Congo DRC cannot build an army that can fight and protect the country? It is because this army has gone through a lot of changes. The army has lost its soul. The army is segmented. You have Mobutu factions, you have Kabila factions, and now you have Felix Tshisekedi factions. So the loyalty of this army is divided among the former leaders of that country. And most of them don't really have the country's goodwill at heart. That's what is really creating problems here. Then what about Nigeria? Okay, in Nigeria we have a whole lot of news. But the biggest news in Nigeria this week is the announcement of a US diplomat that USAID has been used as a sponsor of Boko Haram. How devastating can this news be? A US diplomat is revealing that his country has been using USAID to sponsor Boko Haram in the country. Then we sit here and complain that, oh, Boko Haram is wreaking havoc in Nigeria, whereas their main sponsors are the United States government. Isn't this sad? It is. What do you think? Do you think it's a good thing for the US government to interfere in the affairs of Nigeria? Goodluck Jonathan once mentioned this to us, the way the Obama administration was putting pressure on him to leave power because they wanted Buhari to take over from him. Is this the role of the US government to create regime change?
The level of interference by the Obama's government was very overwhelming. It's not as if I couldn't have won the election even with that. But if, by my own thinking, and also the way some other people looked at it, they go outside the normal diplomatic relationship, then it should be mentioned. Sending that person to Nigeria at the eve of election, after Obama even issued a statement directing Nigerians to vote for the next chapter, that tells you something. And we should not sweep these things under the carpet. If a foreign country, or the African country, or even America or any other country interferes with our own elections, we should mention it. Immediately the Chibok issue came up, we expect Nigerians to be concerned. How do we get these girls out? Within a couple of days, we saw people going to the US would bring back our girls' placards. How? Why? And of course, the Mrs. Obama received one of those placards. I cannot take responsibility for the abduction. I don't control Boko Haram there.
Then, why are we blaming Kagame? If the US government loves regime change, so Kagame is just copying what they see their master in the US do. So this is something that should be an eye-opener for Africans. It is time for us to take our country back. Nigerians, don't sit and let the U.S. dominate your leader. We feel sorry when we understand the predicament of our African leaders. They may not be nice guys. They put so much pressure on them to do the wrong thing. So even if they want to do the right thing, the pressure makes it difficult. Worst of all, they bribe them. When you refuse to take the bribe, they kill you. So our African leaders are sitting on a very hot seat. As they say in Shakespeare, uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. That's the problem.
Tired of waiting in long lines at the emergency room or your doctor's office? You should be. Why wait in long lines for care? It's time for you to come to Lucille Urgent Care. Real care, no waiting. Lucille Urgent Care, the best place for true and loving care. Service at Lucille Urgent Care is convenient, fast, time efficient, affordable, accessible, transparent, and cost effective. Royal treatment is your right. Indeed, it's not just a privilege or pejorative. Skip the emergency room's long lines, kiss the ER goodbye, say farewell to your old doctor's office, pay less, save time, enjoy the excitement of convenience, receive immediate treatment, get the healthcare you need quickly and affordably. Lucille Urgent Care offers many express services: rapid COVID-19 testing, on-site prescription, preventative lab services, imaging and x-rays, urgent medical treatment for common illnesses and injuries, routine vaccines and flu shots, work-related injury services, pre-employment, occupational, annual, and sports physicals, immigration exams, and much more. Same-day treatment, rapid lab results, extended hours, weekend hours, no appointment necessary, no insurance necessary, no doctor necessary, walk-ins accepted, telemedicine available. We are open 7 days a week with evening and weekend hours. We are located in Maryland, Lucille Urgent Care, 903 Half York Road, Towson, Maryland, 21204. Website, lucilleuc.com. Call at 443-275-1286 or 301-593-4897.
But we like what we see in Senegal. Senegal has always decided to move away from the French plantation. They are positioning themselves for a new marketplace. Now they want to introduce English in their system, just like Rwanda did after the 1994 genocide. So kids now in Senegal are learning English because France is not the cloud it used to be. France is weak. France is lightweight. It uses its relationship with America to prop itself up. Okay? France is not a big power. But the French language is useless. So the French language does not really merit serious consideration. So a lot of countries are doing away with it. As Fanon once said, I ascribe fundamental importance to language. A language is not just a code for communication. It's a culture. It's a civilization. French civilization has to die because it's useless. We don't really need it. So Senegal, Ousmane Sonko and his president, they are doing things to get rid of the French language in favor of English, which is the international language of commerce, the international language of science. Okay? Then what about South Africa? Well, in South Africa, we see a typical case of Donald Trump propaganda. Cyril Ramaphosa signed into law a land expropriation bill, but Donald Trump is trying to politicize things by using propaganda against Cyril Ramaphosa. White South Africans stole a lot of black land, so this expropriation bill is trying to at least help black people a little bit. Why should Donald Trump interfere with the internal politics of South Africa? It's because he's Mr. we say in pidgin pork nose. He likes to mind other people's business. But Cyril Ramaphosa has stood his ground. He's challenging Donald Trump. Okay? He's challenging Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is a bully. You have bullies who are standing up to him too. So they're not going to back down. He's getting aid for South Africa. Let white South Africans move to America and leave South Africa. I think South Africans will be very happy. If Donald Trump can take all the South Africans away from South Africa to the United States and resettle them in the United States, a lot of black South Africans will be happy because at least they will take their country back. The country now will be a country that belongs to black people. South Africa doesn't belong to white people. Okay? Finally, we go to Uganda. Another puppet of the West, Yoweri Museveni. This week, Kizza Besigye, the opposition guy who has run for president at least 4 times, is on hunger strike. He appeared in public this week in court looking very weak, very frail. Yoweri Museveni, the blood of this guy is going to be on your hands. So watch and watch and watch. We've come to the end of our video, and this show is your show. Comment. Tell us what you think, because the more you comment, you help us prepare the next video. Tell us what we can do to improve. Comment. Tell us what you would like to see. That's why we're talking to you. Communicate. This should not be a one-way communication. When you watch a video, don't be afraid. Comment. You can even use a pen name and comment if you're afraid to use your real name. But we want you to see you commenting when you watch this show. Thank you very much.
Do you need tax preparation services? We can help. Contact PJ Tax Service, America's only full-time income tax preparers. Like the good old doctor, we do not close our doors after April 15th. In fact, we stay open all year round in order to serve you. We are located at 11207A, Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Make an appointment today with Prince Ojong, your tax expert. Call 240-350-1131 or visit us on the web at www.pjtaxservice.com.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.